Good morning. Good morning from a sunny, if slightly chilly, Alveazra in central Portugal. I've come out this morning to conduct a little experiment, and that's why I brought you guys along. I've always loved nature, and I've always loved being out in nature. I guess it stems really from when I was a kid and living in a busy, sort of tempestuous family, full of all the bluster and arguments and stuff and strife that families have. When I gained my independence as a certain age, I always felt at home in nature, and especially places like forests. For me, they have a certain balancing element that can be quite calming on the soul. So today, I'm gonna kind of ask you guys to throw a bit of conventionality away and try and join me on a little experiment to see if you can get what I got really. So we're going to do a few things. Going to sound a bit crazy, I suppose, but if you're out here on a walk like I am on your own, it really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. It's up to you. And if it makes you feel good, what's the problem with that? So let's go and do some. I always think it's strange how nature claims things back. And no matter how clever we think we are and what we build and what technology we have, as soon as it's left alone, nature comes back and absorbs things. Which is a great metaphor for life really, because nature wastes nothing. And I think that is a good place to begin. And a lot of lessons learned there really. Before I enter a forest, I always like to go through a little ritual to sort of clear my mind and engage with what's around with me. So it's a kind of an act of respect, and what I do is just kind of ask for permission to come in, which sounds a little crazy, but it just gives you that little step to calm, clear, and focus your mind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stand here, right? Just close my eyes for a couple of seconds, be quiet, and listen for a little sound or something that kind of gives me permission to proceed. Sounds crazy, I know, but it's just my own little way. You're probably going to work your own little way out, so just bear with me just a couple of seconds while I do my thing. Just try and get your breathing down and relaxed, and listen to the sounds that are around you, and decide for that sound that you want is your permission to come in. So in your own thoughts, engage with what's around you and ask nature for permission to enter it and join it. So here we go. Now I had my little signal quite early there, but just to show you exactly what I mean, that I thought I'd just do that so you can see. So I've had my little signal, so let's go and just into a little bit of forest here. So I'll see you in a minute. Let's just talk about trees just for just a couple of seconds, right? They're amazing things because they're one of the very few things on this planet that link the air, the earth, water and the sun. Earth, air, fire and water. And if you look at one, I mean, they're really just a basic funnel that brings everything together and they connect. And there's the word, they connect. And this is why trees can be quite special things. And if you think of all the things that we get from trees, we get food, we get shelter, building materials, you name it, basically it's there. We even get the oxygen that we breathe. So that kind of puts them in a very important spot in nature to me, and something that demands a lot of respect. And that's what I always try to do with most parts of nature. So what we're going to do, we're going to do the crazy thing, right? We're going to put our hands on the tree and see what we can actually ascertain. And the more you clear your mind to this, the more you will get from it. But each person is different. It just depends how much of that conventional life we can peel away like the skins of an onion. Because we've lost something primeval. We've lost our skills with nature, you know, when we could sense a danger, or we could sense that a type of fruit or something was ripe to eat, or a situation, you know, kind of mattered. So really what we're going to do here, we're just going to try a little experiment, and this is where I really want you to open your mind a little bit. So I'm just going to approach the tree, and once again, just a moment just to connect with everything again, and I kind of ask that tree for permission to touch it, because it's a living thing, like dog, cat, or whatever. So just bear with me. You don't have to do what I do, it's just the way that I do it, so just bear with me a second. Again, get your breathing right. Start to become calm. And in your mind, just fix on something around you that gives you permission to do this. To try and connect. Okay, I've had my permission. Let's just look at a tree, right? The bark, there are things growing on it, moss. At the base of it, we have plants. We've got beautiful little, I don't know whether they're orchids or whether they are some sort of lily of the valley. Some beautiful, beautiful things. But it's all part of a wider world. And it's all down to these things, really. So let's just try it. Let's just try the crazy, right? And let's just put your hands on the bark. You're now in contact with the tree. Trees, like everything else, have an energy. You think about your body has an energy, it's an electrical energy that drives this through the cells. Well, trees are no different. And what you're getting here is a sense of that. What you're searching for is a sense of that. Obviously you feel the roughness of the bark and the little textures of the moss that grows on it. And that's opening your senses to what's happening. And feel free to put your hand on a tree and feel the different parts of it. But if you really, really can connect with the tree, you start to feel other things. So I'll just be quiet for a while and try and get in that zone. So just forgive me for a minute. Each person's different, but you know, some of the senses that you might pick up, you might be surprised to touch a tree sometimes. It's actually warm. Obviously the sun's on this one, but they're not cold inanimate objects. And remember that, especially in spring and summer, all the sap and the energy is moving around the tree, feeding the leaves, feeding the system, being drawn up out of the ground, taking the air in, the rain, the elements. So it's a good metaphor really for nature, and a great representative. As you can see, this one's lost a bit of bark. Who knows, well, that could be anything. But it's another lovely texture. And even just touching this tree now and just sensing that, there's a certain amount of love in this. You know, you're caressing something. And it can be quite relaxing, quite engaging. And in a mad world that we live in, it's a simple pleasure, really. Just to appreciate and give thanks to such a magnificent life form, which we all take for granted, and I don't think we should. A lot of people do this, probably multiplies the effect. If not only your hands are bare, but you can do it barefoot, which obviously multiplies the connection to the earth, the electrical flow, etc. It just depends what you're standing on. But that's sufficient. I can sense the tree, I can appreciate it in a way you wouldn't normally appreciate it. You'd look at it, you'd walk past it and probably without it, but now there's more. And each tree is different. Each tree has its own character. You will find your own tree that you're drawn to. And it's not crazy. You're re-engaging with something primitive, something primeval. Something deep, maybe within your soul, some people might say. And it's a beautifully relaxing thing. And most of all, it's available to everybody. So try it.